Welcome out here to the Lions Den, live Super Bowl edition. I'm your host, Jason Saab, president, founder of Roar Sports, and it's exciting. What a day we had yesterday. Man, one of the most fun seasons in recent memory that I've had through all the divisions, especially with the Roar South teams that came up. It was a very exciting time, very tiring time. First game kicked off at 8. Our last one didn't kick off till 6:30 last night. But we got through them all, and we are just excited to just go through and take a look at some of the winners. We've grabbed a couple clips of each game and just do kind of a recap on the events from yesterday. And then stay tuned because towards the end, we're going to be talking about the All-Star game and how that's all going to work. So just bear with us and hang on. It's going to be a fun show. We'll start off with on the winner. Somehow the audio is getting a little goofy on us. But Jared Rakes with the 6U with the victory. Good game during the season. I think he was had a little bit bigger lead on Coach Radcliffe and the Dolphins. This game went back and forth very often in the game. It was very tight, very close. Crowd was wonderful, especially the first games. Everybody's kind of tucked back there on the back of Field B. It was very exciting, very loud, and it was a neat atmosphere. Take a look at some of the. We'll take a peek at some of the video clips from that. We'll take a peek here first at the Broncos run they had here. For some reason, the graphics in the lower third got a little goofy, but here you go. Here is the Broncos coming around the corner there scoring. I believe that's Owen. They're not real sure on some of the 6U names because there's so little so fast. But a nice run around the corner there, and the Broncos were in business. Again, I don't know what the graphics were doing on our screen there, but this actually put the Broncos in the lead. The Dolphins were in the lead. I'll show you their little clip from the Dolphins here. Here are the Dolphins making a run here. The handoff makes around the corner, makes a nice move, makes the kid miss, and then reverses the field back across. I believe that's Declan. Coach Radcliffe has a great up-and-coming star in that kid right there. So fun to watch, exciting game. Can't say enough about the job that Coach Rakes and Coach Radcliffe did in the 6U division. The Dolphins and Broncos was one of the more exciting 6U games in recent memory that I have of there, and just excited to see how these kids are going to grow and come up through our league there. So we go back and take a look at the 8U. Going into the 8U division, we had, 7U. We had our folks from down in Roar South and Weston. And here you see a player coming around there for the Bengals, Coach Grant Wyman's team for the 7U Bengals down in Roar South. Coming around the corner. They had a dynamic team. I believe they split the season series with the Giants, if I'm not mistaken. I may be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure. And they were in the lead here, and then it wasn't too long after that. Coach Amack and the Giants were able to get a score on the board. It's a little Kingston McDonald. You'll see the replay coming up. There it is. He takes the ball, makes a stop, reads the defense, got 4 defenders over there, cuts back around, and he is off to the races once he hits that sideline and takes it into the end zone to bring him back closer. As you can see there, the Bengals were up 14-6 at that point. So it was a good game. It was another exciting game, and I'm thinking, wow, if this is what we've got in store for today, it's going to be a humdinger of a day. And it was. Coach Wyman, Coach McDonald, both are doing a great job down there with the development of the kids in Roar South. Our league up here started in 2021 when the bridge first opened in fall of 2021, and we've had this was Super Bowl 9. I don't think we counted the first one because we were low on numbers, but anyhow, we saw a little bit of this with development with the kids, just getting used to the tempo of flag and the game itself. So it's amazing seeing how fast though the Roar South kids down in Lewis County are coming along, and coaches down there doing a wonderful job down there. And then we got to one of the most anticipated ones was the Jags and the Bills. And we'll see a clip here of the Jags. This was a touchdown. They were down handily at halftime, but this was a big score going into the half. Creed Murray with a pass from, I believe it was Ezra Lindsey, hits him coming across there, and he just makes a dandy move around that corner. There's the read, the catch, makes a guy miss, 2-3 miss, and then off the end zone he was. And so that was a great play, but the Bills just had a lot of juice in the tank, and we're ready for this game. The Jags had actually beat them earlier with a walk-off touchdown earlier in the season, and so the Bills, they knew the Jags were going to come to play. And here it is, the Bills coming down the sideline. It's Weston Kelly, pass from Vinny Sinelli. Vinny Sinelli was just lighting it up, throwing it all over the field to his receivers. Weston Kelly there is a dynamic player, defensive player. And that was an early score there for the Bills. Just wonderful pass there, throwing it to open space. At age in the 8U division, seeing a quarterback like this throwing a receiver open is pretty impressive. And so it's going to be neat to see these kids come up as well through our league. So that game ended with the Bills taking the game there, and. Great game. I think you can't analyze these games too much. We have fun with it. I mean, nothing here serious about that. But being a rec league and rec division, some of these kids, they're very young, and so you can't really, sit here like you're on ESPN or something and analyze. Although I will say that I think that one of the bigger things for the Jags, take nothing away from the Bills, played a wonderful game, had a good game plan, came out, played fast, got on it early. But the Jags, the week before, to get to this game, they come in as a 4 seed. And so I think just as a coach, I think they took a lot of I think it took a lot out of them knocking off the number 1 seed Broncos, which is who they had to beat to get to the Super Bowl. And so it was neat seeing them. They put up a good game. I think just emotionally, mentally, it just took a lot out of them the week before. And they just seemed a little out of sync when the game started, but they hung in there and they played well. Hats off to Coach Jody Boblet, did a great job. Of course, Coach Nicky Sinelli, we talked about him at the beginning of the season. One of the first episodes of the Lions Den Live, we talked about him and him returning back and seeming to always find his way at the Super Bowl at the end. So that was it was kind of expected a little bit, but a lot of us thought maybe the Jags would have one more in the tank for him. And the Bills just had a little too much. So take a quick commercial break, 30 seconds, and we'll be right back.
Roar Sports would like to thank the following 2025 fall sponsors: A&S Recovery, Dan Cava Toyota, State Farm agent Stephanie Hayhurst Hall, Trinity Transport, Latham Pool Products, El Rey Mexican Restaurant, Bridgeport Conference Center, Fat Angelo's Pizzeria, West Virginia State Police Troopers Association, Subway of Weston, Shop and Save of Weston, Blue Knights, Friedland's Water Gardens, Commodore Realty, Simply Green LLC, and Lost Trail Film and Photo. Thank you for helping us help the youth in our community.
All right, and we do encourage you to support those who sponsor Roar Sports. A lot of sponsors this year made this happen, a lot of very generous donors, and we are just extremely thankful for them. We did charge a $5 admission at the Super Bowl. We announced it many weeks in advance. Still a few folks that kind of weren't too happy and thrilled about it when they came in, but the reality of it is we try to get as many objective refs not part of our league and as well as workers for the scoreboard, for the camera, so you, the parents, can sit and enjoy the game. We never ask you to fundraise. We never ask you to run a concession stand. We usually don't charge a gate or anything. So once a season, I don't think it's too much to do that, just to help recoup some fees back. 12 and under is free. So just kind of put that in your mind for next year, and maybe be kind to the people at the gate taking the money. Overall, everything was really good, but there was just enough of a few bad apples that kind of made a little bit of a scene there, and don't appreciate it, but it's expected, and not everybody understands the entirety of what goes into making this season. But nonetheless, let's get back to the Super Bowl, more pleasant things. Again, we see the winners there. See the 9U Rams, Coach West down in Roar South did a good job with the Rams. They had some close games this year. They actually, I want to say they beat the Roar Central Rams. And this was one of those mixed divisions that we did similar last season, where we don't have enough of the kids in a certain age bracket, but we're just we know once it gets going and it grows, they'll all match up evenly across Roar Central here in Bridgeport and Roar South in Weston. And so we have a 9U division. They played our 10U kids and did a pretty good job at it. But in the Super Bowl, it was the 9U Rams and the 9U Colts. Rams came out on top. Colts were close up front at first, and then the game kind of just got away from them. So, but however, we'll take a peek here at the 9U Rams as soon as I find that here. Let's see here. There we go. So the 9U Rams here, you'll see a nice touchdown run. They make over here. One extra point. Around the corner. This was to take the lead back. The Colts actually had it tied. A little dump off pass for the first down, and then he gets a lot more for his money as he clears that corner. Everybody's playing up for the first down. Makes a run around through there, and the Rams ended up with that score right there. But the Colts had a decent game as well. They scored, actually tied the game towards the beginning. Here's a play there. Coach Charles Wolf did a good job with the Colts this year. I think they had a key player that got injured, was out towards the beginning of the season. And so a little underhand toss dump there, and off to the races he goes. Two guys miss, into the end zone they go. And so the Colts and the Rams, the Rams ended up on top on that one. And so that was a pretty good game there. The West, nice seeing the Roar South kids up here. And so we find ourselves in the 10U division here, and another anticipated game was the Cowboys and the Ravens. Coach Greg Barnhart did a great job with the Cowboys during the regular season. Won some key games and had to end up beating the 10U Lions to get there to this game. And it was with the talent the Lions had, it wasn't an easy task. They pulled it off. Ravens squeaked into the Super Bowl, almost upset by the Broncos, needing overtime to beat them. And it was good to see them bounce back. Sometimes it takes those when you have a team as talented as the Ravens and the Cowboys as well. I just get down through the rosters, and a lot of talent on both sides. But the Ravens being undefeated, sometimes those games you need one to kind of give you some adversity and shock you into it. And the Broncos took them to task. They ended up beating them in overtime, 20-19, and so they refocused and were ready for the Super Bowl. Came out, but the Cowboys didn't disappoint. Led by Cooper Johnson, Levi Moore, Liam Nines as well. Here you see Cooper taking the handoff, makes that cut, makes Graham Skasik miss in the backfield, and then he hits that corner and just off to the races. Probably one of Cooper Johnson's signature runs there. You see him doing that a lot. He's torched a lot of teams with this, almost this exact run. It's like an instant replay. You can go through a highlight reel of the things that he's had. Then on the other side of the ball, you have a little guy there. He is. I've had the joy of coaching him last season with the Jets. 10U won a Super Bowl. He's no stranger to the end zone. No stranger to seeing him. None other than Judah Cross for the Ravens. He is always dangerous, whether he's passing, whether he's running. Here he is in the backfield, takes a handoff, comes around the corner. A couple guys missed, little sidestep there, move. He is just off to the races in the end zone. And this one is the one that put the Ravens up for good. And didn't look back after this one. He just continued on. playing there. And Judy just his vision of the field and being able to see that seam right there, that seam between those two players, and then he had to get around Cooper Johnson towards the end, which is no easy task. Just a great play. Two great athletes watching this game. Like I said, both rosters full of talent. You can go down through the list there and see them. And so that was nice to see. A good game, solid game. But the Ravens ended up having just too much for the Cowboys for that game, and so they ended up taking the 10U. And when we looked at the beginning of the season, thinking back to that first show we did, we had an idea that Coach Holden Cross was going to have. He was going to have a full stable of some players there. He with his quarterback Carter Morrison. In his second season, I think that I remember since last year, he had a great season last year, and then this year, Coach Holden Cross was able to pick him up, and with the additions of, in addition to Judah, Graham Skasik, and unsung hero, if you will. I'm always for the big guys, somebody that played lineman in high school, and I didn't have very many exciting plays, but as a big guy, it's always good seeing the big guy, and especially in a sport like flag where it's dominated so much by the speed and the skill players. Trey Salties, man, he was just, every time the Ravens needed yardage, needed a first down, because you can't coach height, and he's so tall. Big guy, center for him, and it was nice to see them using him, incorporating him, and then just throwing the ball around. It's just a lot to deal with the Ravens, and we kind of had a suspicion beginning of the season it might go something like that, and just some of these kids, it's just a testament to them playing in the system and coming up through there, and as they continue to develop, it's just going to make them faster, and so hats off, congratulations, Coach Holden Cross with the 10U Ravens. There, we're going to pause just for a moment here, take a commercial break. When we come back, very exciting 12U Super Bowl. I had the privilege of being part of it, and I'm pretty excited about that. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Roar Sports would like to thank the following 2025 fall sponsors: A&S Recovery, Dan Cava Toyota, State Farm agent Stephanie Hayhurst Hall, Trinity Transport, Latham Pool Products, El Rey Mexican Restaurant, Bridgeport Conference Center, Fat Angelo's Pizzeria, West Virginia State Police Troopers Association, Subway of Weston, Shop and Save of Weston, Blue Knights, Friedland's Water Gardens, Commodore Realty, Simply Green LLC, and Lost Trail Film and Photo. Thank you for helping us help the youth in our community.
All right, we're back. So let's get into it. The 12U, as you saw, 12U Chargers ended up pulling it off, but not without some wonderful gameplay by the Seahawks. The Seahawks, you'll see here, is I think their first score. Levi Marshall played with it like lights out. You see it underneath dump off. Touchdown. It's by Jeremiah Kipp and some of the Chargers secondary. Levi Marshall gets the game ball for the Seahawks, hands down. He played a wonderful game. They all played great. But the problem is when you've got a lot of talent like the Seahawks have, you've got a lot of talent there. And with that much talent, you've got to prepare. When Coach Jermel and I were preparing to play Coach Miggs and Coach Boblet there with the Seahawks, you're always planning for. You got to plan for Jolin, you got to plan for Chase, you got to plan for Gabe, and the quarterback, Braxton Lane Vernon. It's his first year in flag football. He's a baseball player, but first year in flag, and he came so far so fast, unbelievable seeing what he did on the field with the Seahawks. Sorry, the guard dogs are barking a little bit. I don't know if you can hear that. But anyhow, Braxton Lane Vernon, what a job he did. The Seahawks actually held us. The Chargers, we finished the season undefeated. We played the Seahawks once in the regular season, the very first game. and it was kind of close. And so we knew we were going to go into this game expecting a tight one. So they went up and actually were leading 13-0 through halftime. And so it took us a minute to get the Chargers settled down, but the Chargers, you got a player like Jeremiah Corbett. At any moment he can turn around and see things, and so you'll see a play right here. We're down 13-0 in the second half. Jeremiah comes around that corner and it's just off to the races. Makes a nice little turn there, spin move, and off to the races he goes. This score actually tied the game up. Got us within 1 point. They were still up 13-12 in that. And so the game was tight the rest of the time, extremely close. And the Seahawks were just it was just back and forth. We had an opportunity, drove down the field, got within 13-12, and then this play right here is where the Chargers took the lead with a throwback. Jeremiah rolls out, finds Gabe Lesman, the center, in the end zone. The big guy, the center, just put the Chargers up 18-13 in the game. And then the Seahawks did a great job of clock management. They drove down the field. About 40 seconds left to go in the game. They had third down. They had one play left. They score. They win. So you're seeing them lining up here, and this is the one everybody's just holding their breath. When you Levi Marshall there in the foreground there, it's getting ready to go. Braxton drops back. He sent a lot of pressure on Braxton. He evades the rush, and then here comes Jeremiah again, makes the big play there, makes the third down knockdown. And that is how the game ended. Extremely exciting. Hats off to the Seahawks. What a game. Coach Miggs wasn't feeling well during the game even. That's why we're not here tonight. I'm just stuck with me. Talking to Coach Ann, his wife, later on that evening, we were all sitting around having a bite to eat, and it was just you couldn't have asked for a better game. Both teams competed. Both teams did exactly what us coaches asked them to do. And at the end of the day, at the end of the game, it's just who can make that last play. And it just so happened that Jeremiah was in a position to come across the back of the end zone and knock that pass down, which again was going to Levi Marshall. Played a wonderful game, but it was exciting. A little closer than I liked. A little wetter and colder than I liked. Ended up getting doused with a cooler full of ice water, but it was all good, and the Chargers ended up taking that. But we weren't done with 12U yet. We had our friends from down south there, the 12U Falcons and the Cowboys went at it. I'll get that clip up for you here in a second. The Cowboys and the Falcons going at it. Coach Miller with the Falcons. There they are here. They pass right across the middle, across the goal line. The game was close. It was, at this point, it was 15-6. I think they get the extra point. But maybe they didn't. But the game was close. It was a one-score game. And but the Cowboys just had a lot of juice. Christian McDonald is just once he makes a move and let him get going, he can be a very dangerous player. And you see this play here. He goes from his own start line, coast to coast, to the pop mix. Here he goes. So he is just to the house. It was a great thing seeing the Cowboys and the Falcons do their thing there. There it is. Just trying to get my monitor back. So Christian hit that sideline and off to the races he goes. And so the 12U Cowboys ended up taking that one home, and that was pretty good game to watch, fun to watch, and so we'll see more of that in a second. See more of them coming up, and then we wrapped the day up with our 15U division, the Bills and the Saints. Finishing the day up there, kicked off around 6:30. Here you'll see Evan Root for the Bills drops back under pressure. There's the snap. Here comes the blitz. Gets it away. throwing receiver open. Josiah Boblet, back corner of the end zone there with the catch. Good ball, good catch, good execution, and it was the Bills just won't go away. They got too much talent. And, but then on the other side of the ball, in the black and the gold, and no, it's not the Steelers. We've got the Saints, who have been undefeated this season, and here you'll see Bear rolling out to the side. He's just reading the back of the end zone. There's the connection to Nate. They have just been connected at the hip most of the season, and there you see it again. There, that was their first score of the game. The Saints would go on to take this game and bring home the Super Bowl after an undefeated season. And so that wrapped our day up. Just a good day. I want to say thank you on the air for all the coaches. I thought all of the coaches were very well behaved. It's sometimes these games can get emotional. We met with the coaches before every game and just to talk and just kind of, hey guys, listen, and seemed to work. Seemed like the coaches were all in good spirits, win or lose, and so we're really appreciative that we have such a coaching staff. We're going to pause for 30 seconds, and then when we come back, this is our last break. We come back, and we will see the All-Star selections and have all that information. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Roar Sports would like to thank the following 2025 fall sponsors: A&S Recovery, Dan Cava Toyota, State Farm agent Stephanie Hayhurst Hall, Trinity Transport, Latham Pool Products, El Rey Mexican Restaurant, Bridgeport Conference Center, Fat Angelo's Pizzeria, West Virginia State Police Troopers Association, Subway of Weston, Shop and Save of Weston, Blue Knights, Friedland's Water Gardens, Commodore Realty, Simply Green LLC, and Lost Trail Film and Photo. Thank you for helping us help the youth in our community.
All right, we're going to try this. Hopefully I can get this audio working here. Take a peek. The All-Star games are coming up this weekend, this Saturday. Now, there will be practices Tuesday night and Thursday night this week. You'll have that information, parents, in the app. That will be put out in the app this week. It'll also be on our Facebook page. Tuesday night, the 10U and 12U will practice outside on the back turf. I've already checked the weather. It looks like it's going to be a nice, maybe a little cool, so bring a sweatshirt. But 6 o'clock on the back turf, 10U and 12U. And then the 15U on Tuesday will practice indoors at 7. And the reason why is the 15U All-Star Game is going to be 5v5 format. And so the kids can get adjusted to the field. It is a more narrow field. The field we play on inside at the bridge is about 45 yards wide. NFL flag 5v5 tournaments are played on a 25-yard wide field. So it's 20 yards skinnier field, 2 less players. So they can get accustomed to that. The lines have been there all season. You might have seen them on the field, the big yellow line that goes down through the middle. So they'll be inside practicing on that. Then there'll be another practice on Thursday. So and then Saturday will be the All-Star game. We originally had contemplated the idea of some things, but we're going to shake that out here in a second. So hopefully if I did this audio right, I can switch over and still have audio while we see this. Let's take a look at the 10U All-Star rosters. What we did was, because of more teams here at Roar Central and less teams in Roar South, because we only have 2 teams down there, we have, in 10U, we have 6 teams up here, 2 teams down there. So there was, I believe, 3 entries from each, or 6 entries total from the Roar South. The rest of the rosters came from up here. So 14 kids from up here, 6 kids from down there, and we mixed them together. Hopefully maybe some friendships and fun will come out of this, where coaches from up here will have an opportunity to coach and interact with some of the kids down there, and vice versa, some of the coach from down there. And so the Super Bowl winners, which means Coach Holden Cross will coach the 10U, the 10U Team Black, and Coach West, Nathan West, will coach the 10U Team Red. So that'll be the coaches for those teams. So let's see if I did this right. And I think the audio is still working. I think we got it there. So there we go. Team Black from the Broncos, Paxton Sanofsky. From the Ravens, Judah Cross. You have Austin Hayhurst, Anthony Hess from the Lions up here, Solomon Holbert from the Raiders, Asher Huff, he's from Roar South, Colton Murray from the Lions, Liam Nines from the Cowboys, Lincoln Schaefer from down south, Luke Simpson from the Rams, and Grayson Wilson from the Cowboys. Over on Team Red, we have Rachel Black from the Lions, Joel Burgett from, I believe, the Rams, Bray Curry from the Broncos, Carter Elmore from the Broncos, Georgie Halbritter from the Rams up here, the Roar Central Rams, Cooper Johnson from the Cowboys, Carter Morrison from the Ravens, Graham Skasic from the Ravens, Cannon Stump, Noah Thornburg from the Raiders, and Zane West from the Rams South. And so there's a look at the teams for the All-Star 10U All-Star game. They will have their own, we're getting All-Star jerseys made, and special thanks out to Jeff and Laura Foster, and their businesses will be represented sponsoring this game. So we have those going on, and we'll take a look here. We did the same thing with, let's see here, let's get back over here. So we did the same thing with the 12U. So there's a 10U, 12U, and 15U All-Star games. So the 12U All-Stars, the two winning coaches will coach those. So yours truly, the Chargers won Super Bowl, so I'll be coaching Team Black, and Coach Andrew McDonald, who won with the Cowboys, 12U Cowboys in South, will be coaching Team Red. So those will be those. Let's take a look at those rosters and see what we've got here. So Team Black, my team will be Gabe Black, Jeremiah Corbett, Rocco D'Annunzio, Gabe from the Seahawks, Jerry from our Chargers team, Rocco from the Lions, Cooper Foster from the Chargers, Van Kesner from the Ravens, 12U Ravens, Peyton Marsh from down south, Levi Marshall from the Seahawks, Bradley Miller from down south, Kai West from the Lions, and Dakota White. So those are our Team Black players. That'll be my team. I will be coaching for the All-Star game. Team Red being headed up by Coach Andrew McDonald, affectionately known as Coach AMAC, Cortland Church from the Cowboys, Emmett Clark from the Falcons, Rhett Frazier from the Lions, Luca Landers from the Chargers, Braxton Lane Vernon from the Seahawks, Trent Leon from the Ravens, Christian McDonald from the Cowboys. Let's see here, Colton Swagger, I believe he's 12U Cowboys as well, Brock Udy from the Ravens, and Hayden Walker from the 12U Chargers that we had. So those are your teams for the 10U and 12U All-Star games. Should be pretty exciting. Only 2 practices, but it is the All-Star, so they should be able to come together pretty quick. Kind of neat to see coaches try to get their philosophies into these kids in just 2 days. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be for fun. Have fun with it and not be anything too serious. Along with that, we'll announce the times on Facebook and in the app. These games will start at 8 o'clock in the morning with 10U first, then followed by the 12U. And then in the afternoon, around noonish, we will start the 15U, which I'll talk about here in a second. The 10U and the 12U, we're going to try to do something a little different, have the All-Star games. And so the invitation is going to be sent out to everybody. We're going to have a handful of competitions that will be played, individual competitions that will be played before the games. So we'll have like an accuracy throwing contest, longest throw, fastest run, fastest agility, and maybe a couple other games. Pretty much when they come in, we're going to have a handful of competitions they can compete in, and then they'll get 3 tickets with their name on them, and they can put those 3 tickets in any of the games. And so basically this prevents one kid from just going through and taking over everything. So they can, whatever games they put their names in, they'll do. We'll do that, then we'll play the game. The idea is for all the kids in 10U, all the kids in 12U to come at the appointed times for the All-Star games, compete in these games, have fun, and then stick around and cheer their teammates on in the All-Star games. And so with the 10U and the 12U. Now, we have a different format that we have explained on our last episode. We've announced it at the games, and I am extremely, extremely excited for this one for a couple reasons. One, I can't wait to see the kids divided up like this, watch it play. 2, I don't have to coach, and neither does Coach Morrow, and neither does Coach Boblet or Coach Halbritter. We're just going to sit back and watch. We'll probably end up some of us refereeing the game. Hopefully, if everything works well, Coach Miggs will be back. Like I said, he's feeling a little under the weather, so if you're a Christian, a Bible-believing Christian, you're pray. Please keep Coach Miggs in your prayers. And so he'll be back. Him and I will be commentating the game. Coach Shane Wolford is going to be our in-house special guest DJ, our honorary DJ. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting atmosphere. The 15U, just as a reminder who the teams are. Team Gold will be Bear, Cohen Brown from the Eagles, Morgan Lambrinides from the Bills, Kellen McGilton from the Eagles, Dalton Wheeler from the Saints, and Parker Wolford from the Bills. Team Blue will be Jackson Halbritter, leading that up with Connor Setchell from the Saints, Henrik Kunzler from the Eagles, Tanner Carlisle from the Saints, Bo Henry from the Eagles, and Uriah Elwood from the Eagles, I believe. Team Black will be led by Evan Root, Noah Bomar from the Bills, Caden Delaney from the Saints, Bailey Hott from the Bills, I believe, Marcus Pifley from the Bills, Nate Springer from the Bills, and then Team Crimson, which will be led up by Nate Morrow with Alexis Boros and Josiah Hott, Trip Matthews from the Eagles, Rush Brown from the Bills, and Christian Ware from the Saints. And so those are the 4 teams that will make up the 15U. Now, if you earlier when I mentioned they're going to be inside for 5v5, running a 5v5 tournament, if you haven't experienced that, it's very fast. 5v5, smaller field, 12-minute halves, 2-minute halftime. So it's about a 24-minute game, roughly. So you're talking about 2 games an hour. So it's extremely fast. With that, we were able to put together a bracket. And so I want to share that with you. I do have those times right now. I want to share that with you. And again, this will be posted on our socials and in the Stack Team app and emails. So here's how that's going to work. We're going to do a 3-game guarantee. So every team in the 15U All-Stars will play a minimum of 3 games, at least 3 games. And so the way that's going to work is Team Gold will take on Team Crimson at noon. It's Bear, I believe Bear and Nate's teams. So Team Gold, Team Crimson will play at noon. At 12:30, Team Black and Team Blue will play. At 1 p.m., the losers from each of the first 2 games will play. At 1:30, the 2 winners will play. At 2 p.m., the loser from the games up top will play down there. You see the numbers there in the brackets. The loser from Game 3 and the loser from Game 4 will play there. And then at 2:30, those winners will play. Then at 3, that winner will play the winner coming out of Game 3 you see up there at the top. Now, if a team, say for example Team Crimson, would go through and they would win their first game, they would win their second game, win their first game, right? And they play their second game, they win it. If the first game they lose is a 3 p.m. game, in other words, they stay at the top of the bracket. If the first game they lose is at 3 o'clock, there will be a second game at 3:30. But that aside, that is the 5v5 format, 24-minute games, 3-game guarantee. We're really excited about this to see how these kids are going to do with this format in the 15U division. So once again, recap, 10U All-Stars starting at 8 o'clock in the morning, then follow All-Star games, followed by the All-Star game, then the 12U games, then the 12U game, and then by noon we'll have all that 10U, 12U wrapped up, and by noon we'll take off into the 15U. It's going to be fun. No gate, no admission this weekend coming up on the 18th. So, but if you want to, come up and enjoy some fun and exciting stuff. Also, don't forget there is a Black Friday special, which is how we open up our spring registration. We have a limited number of spots that we open up for a heavily discounted price for Aurora Central. A little bit of a discounted price down south. The reason why is our operating expenses at the Bridge Sports Complex are a lot more expensive than our operating expenses down in Weston. And so that's the difference in the pricing in general, and as well as being relative as the discount. I do want to try something here, and I don't know if it's wise to do it live and try it, but I'm going to try it anyway. I'm going to give you a sneak peek. There is something I've been working on at the Bridge as a manager there. We have club teams at the Bridge. Some of you, we've talked about this. Mountain State Storm is our brand at the Bridge Sports Complex. We have Mountain State Storm Swimming, Mountain State Storm Volleyball, Mountain State Storm Lacrosse. And this, here within the next few weeks, tryouts are going to happen for what's going to be known as Mountain State Storm Football. You guys are the first to see a sneak peek. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. You're going to have to wait till we announce it at the Bridge. But give you a little sneak peek of it here. And you can see what kind of is the glimpse of what the uniforms are going to look like. You'll see maybe some familiar faces. It's going to be for 10U and up. And just to give you a quick rundown of it, I'm trying to run this a little bit different than traditional club sports you find at complexes. There'll be an initial registration fee that'll cover uniforms and those costs. Beyond that, it's going to be a tournament team. So we'll play some tournaments in PA, maybe out in the Eastern Panhandle, Ohio, maybe Maryland, Virginia, around this area. Usually no more than maybe one, maybe two tournaments a month. But it'll be a la carte. So after your initial registration, you're only going to be responsible for paying entry fees and hotels for the tournaments you go to. And the idea is here to try to keep it at a reasonable price point. At the same time, allow kids to play, because a lot of kids play basketball, might play soccer or other sports, and to attract kids from those other sports, not to take them away, but in addition to. And so a player may come, and this will be tryout based because it is a travel. They'll come and they'll, make the team, but maybe they can't play in some tournaments in January, February because of basketball, but March their schedule starts lighting up or whatever. Our season, so to speak, because it's not really a league, it's travel, will be from November through probably July. One of the tournament circuits we do want to hit is FFL, Flag Football Life. A very well-run tournament circuit. A lot of it's up in near Philly in PA. Conshohocken, I believe, is the town, and there's another one up there. Their nationals are the end of July every year, and so we definitely want to hit that one. We are going to be very aggressive with this team and try to get at least one or two teams out of our team into the Black Friday Bowl, which is coming up in Pittsburgh and Coriopolis, PA, just maybe about not even 2 hour drive from here. You can do it in the day. You don't have to get a hotel. Undisputed is teaming up with our friends at Pittsburgh NFL Flag. Great guys, Rashad Coven, Eric Cooper, good guys up there running that. And so, but let me just give you a sneak peek here at if I can figure out how to do this here. I'm going to add something. Let's see here. Let's just try this. Give me one moment here. I'm still learning the broadcast software, and so you're just kind of like my guinea pig. Let's see here. I could do a capture. Here we go. I'll do a screen capture. I'm hoping the audio is included with this. We'll see. There we go. That might work. Show full screen. Application. All right. So hopefully this will get to the audio as well. We'll try this and see. That's not gonna work. Okay. Well, I apologize. I was hoping this would work. Give you a little sneak peek of this. I'm gonna try one more thing here and see if I can get this to work here. Let me try this here. One more second here. This is, we've been working on this video. This is the video promo for Mountain State Storm football. And it's, could be, there, I think this might work. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to, I'm going to show you this. And just a little sneak peek. Nobody else has seen this yet. And so I'm going to go ahead and give you a sneak peek of it here. And see if we. Well, that was a heck of a sneak peek, wasn't it? No, I'm joking. Yeah, not one to cooperate for me, but anyhow, I promise it'll be worth it. What you'll see here, I can give you a sneak peek of what the uniforms look like. They're pretty slick. Give me 1 second here, and I'll get those up for you. Maybe. Here we go. Computer's not cooperating. Recent Let me get a picture of, here we go. Let's do this, and we'll do this. So you might see some familiar faces here. Well, that's not cool. All right. Well, for some reason, it's not cooperating. I apologize. I've tried, but you guys will see it. The video promo will drop on. It'll drop on our Facebook page as well as the Bridge and other channels out there. Probably look for that early this week. We should have a live Facebook page. Will be live hopefully maybe tomorrow, where you can get some more information. And who knows, video may be ready by then. But anyway, so that's all the information I have for you tonight. Sorry I couldn't get that last thing working there. Thank you guys for joining me, and hopefully we'll see you.